How's it going, boys? Today we're gonna be doing a Faceless Void guide. Why? Because Faceless Void are kinda reasons, that's why. There is one tip that I want to give to everybody before I start this guide, and it is simply the fact that never ever announce the fact that if you double down your MMR. If you're gonna use a double down token for your games, never ever announce it. There is an option to say don't use it, yes use it, and yes use and announce. There is absolutely zero reason to announce the fact that you're using your double down token, except if you want people to know about it and you want them to grief you out, okay? Because you might think that you're like putting in their face like, oh, I'm doubling down, I'm so cool. No, not really, man. You're not really doing that. All you're doing is risking yourself to potential people who despise you and are gonna go extra try hard just because they want you to lose MMR, which I do have. There are some enemies out there that despise me and who I am, and they will actively try to play better than they normally do just to make me lose more MMR. And there's people on my team that will actively try to lose the game because I double down. You might not believe this, but it does happen. This game, luckily, I had a decent team and we were doing just fine. But I want to say that there's a lot of times where you announce you doubling down your MMR literally have no benefit, and for some reason someone's gonna fucking be overconfident and you're gonna lose. And also, the only reason why you can actually double down, it's either if you have an enemy on the team that's like two people, you avoid it and you know they're trash, or that's pretty obvious. If they have like people who are trash on their team, you can use your double down token. Otherwise, you just look at the draft. So you see like if you have a good draft. So yeah, this guy's basically a fucking octopus now. Doesn't really make sense. I feel like the fucking Mace of Eons look even better. People don't understand the fact that this old set, like low-key, might even look better than the new set, bro. People are tripping out on this. They don't understand that. But anyways, yo guys, how to play Faceless Void. So basically, how do you play Faceless Void? This hero is all about abusing your Chronosphere and your broken abilities, okay? So when we look at Faceless Void, he has, somewhat decent stat gain. He has not the best intel gain. He has pretty good agility gain. Strength gain is okay. 4.2 armor, pretty good base damage. Movement speed is average mediocre. So he is somewhat decent, and he skills very well. The reason why he skills very well is because Chronosphere is essentially the most broken ability in the entire game. There is not a single ability that triumphs this. With this much area of stun duration for 5 seconds, meanwhile you're getting attack speed within it and everything about that, it is just a fucking hack, to be honest. So how do you abuse the fact that you're a Faceless Void? Well, starting items, just buy whatever. This is okay, right? If they have Bristleback, Bad Rider, buy one. Doesn't matter. So nowadays, you kind of have to get 1 point in your time dilation, especially if they have cooldowns. Now, the reason why you do that is because, obviously, if they have cooldowns, which I put free spell on, so it didn't work, each cooldown will essentially be triggering the damage tick. Right? It's gonna tick for 8 seconds of 16 damage. That is a lot of damage.
Now that's a lot of damage!
If you're ticking 16 damage times 8 is 128 damage at level 1. If they have 2 spells, it's 200 and something damage. At level 1, that is absolutely insane. If the enemy has more than 2 spells and you just press this, like let's say they were something like a Bat Rider, for example. Let's say he uses this and then he uses that and then you do this. Boom. Dude, you have 3 time dilation slows. If there's any heroes that uses like more than 2 abilities at once and you use this shit, you are doing a lot of damage. Like a lot of damage, guys. So you kind of, depending on the hero, if they have like no spells, or like let's say they have 1, let's say they're like Legion Commander, don't necessarily want it, right? Or if there's some kind of like Temper Saw, you should get it. Or if they just don't give a fuck, like Huskar offlane maybe, or DK potentially. Like Bristleback, you do actually get it because he needs to spam his quills. Bounty Hunter, you don't necessarily want it. So this is like maybe, right? Depending on this, you don't get it level 1 usually. It's kind of griefs your lane. People believe that somehow time lock, the bash, is what allows you to trade as a Faceless Void, and this just hurts my my brain. First of all, you don't get the 70 time lock damage. So this is essentially 30 damage at level 4. At level 1, it is basically like 15 damage, okay? It's 15 magical damage with 25% magical resistance. That is like fucking like 10 damage. Okay, and there's only a 12% chance. Yes, it stuns them, so you get a second hit, you get a double hit. It is nice and all, okay, I'm not gonna lie. This does allow Faceless Void to trade pretty well because you get like the double hit, and it's pretty cool how the tentacle has that thing. You get the cool double hit, and then you can get an extra free hit. Alright, sometimes you get lucky, you get like a triple bash. However, you only need one skill point in this ability. This spell literally gets 5 more damage and 4% more chance to prot. It is so fucking bad skilling wise. Now if you look at what Time Lock does, this ability literally cooldown goes down drastically and the range increases. It's 40 mana, it reduces your damage taken in the last 2 seconds. So at level 1 it's 24 seconds, level 4 it is 6 seconds. The range increases as well, guys. Now if you ask me, how can you abuse the fact that you're a Faceless Void in the lane? It is not by using Time Lock, it is by using Time Walk. You are gonna max this ability every single lane no matter what. Do not max Time Lock. This shit doesn't do shit. Get Time Walk. So basically what you try to do is like you hit them, you trade, and you can either walk in front of them. Like let's say they're hitting you. You can either like walk, like let's say they're trying to fling, you can either walk in front of them, do that, and then just hit them. Or what you can do is like you can like walk to the side to juke off the damage that they did on you, right? Especially like if they have like, you know, if they have some kind of big nukers like Lina or something, right? Let's say the Lina does this and starts hitting you. You just time walk it off, right? And you do this and start hitting her. Also, you can go in, hit them a couple times, right? You're trading, and then they're about to nuke you, you run away, right? Essentially, you want to get hit, lose a fuck ton of HP, and within 2 seconds, run away. And that's how you can basically out-regen the opponent. And if you buy like a wand, they cast some spells. 40 mana is nothing, guys. Literally, it's like how you abuse Faceless Void. And you have the best ultimate in the game. Now, the biggest no-no people don't understand about Faceless Void is the fact that your Chronosphere actually just is basically a stun. Okay, you actually don't do enough damage to kill anyone unless you're just super fucking low. So unless if you got a support who can nuke like Crystal Maiden or something, or if you have a mid laner that can help you gank like a Skyrath, you're probably not gonna kill anybody in this because you are so fucking weak without items. Like this is literally me with the attack speed talent, by the way. Like without the attack speed talent, level 30 Faceless Void doesn't even do damage. I can't even kill a no item. Like it's pathetically sad. So you're pretty much just stunned, right? Your DPS doesn't come online until you get some more items, which I will be going through them. And the shard is essentially just like a little like zoom back thing. You can like trick people. Sometimes you can get them to use spells and then you run away. Like if they have any like ground targeting ability, you go in and then this guy might like do that and then you run away, stuff like that. And you can like bait people. They chase you, they blink here. Like let's say an anti-mage is chasing you, time walk. And then he blinks and then you go back. You know, you can juke them out like that. For the talents, literally I would say it doesn't really matter. Both of the sides are okay. First one, time walk backtrack duration is fine. I think the dilation DPS is slightly better. Time walk cooldown is arguably better than the slow in my opinion. But then it really depends if you want to go on the full out like time dilation talents. Sometimes it's really good against certain heroes, right? But I would normally say the time walk talents are better. And then for the level 20, that one's kind of weird. That one's like, if you need attack speed, you go for attack speed. If you feel like you have enough damage, you just go for more damage. You can go for 7 damage. So sometimes you actually have a farming issue on Faceless Void. This hero doesn't farm that fast, surprisingly, right? Even though you think you have time walk. Level 25, I'll say if you got more team fight, you go for the AoE Chronosphere, or if you just need to catch more people in it. But 20% backtrack is literally insane. There's a 25% chance where you just don't take damage. Like, did you just see that? 25% chance where you just don't take damage. I just straight up did not take damage. Yeah, I just straight up did not take damage. I don't know about you guys, but that shit is pretty fucking good. So yeah, that's that. Aghanim Scepter. Oh yeah, this is really good actually. This is a must-have item almost in the late game at all time. It pretty much, like, Faceless Void can't really fight because he kind of just walks in and dies. Or he just does this, right? Without Chrono's like 2 minutes, bro. It's so long cooldown. So without Chrono, you're pretty much useless. You just want to farm and kind of just like, you can't even go in because then you can't go out. So with the Shard and the Aghanim Scepter, you can actually fight without having to get Chrono because you can catch people like this. And if it's good, you stay. If it's not good, you back out. Like, you actually have like some kind of zoning potential. Like with that, it's like a little stun and damage, right? Also works with your items and stuff. So this and the Shard actually allows you to fight without Chrono, so which is like necessary in the late game. Now, because you have the most broken ability in the game, you're always gonna grab a Refresher Orb in the late game. It's just one of those heroes where Refresher Orb is a must on you. In the early game, you're basically gonna be looking for Wraith Band, right? Classic, Power Treads, and because Power Treads attack speed, you don't need phase boots, you don't need anything else. And Mask of Madness is a little bit of hit or miss. It is kind of cool with the like the special effect now with the purple thing. It is lifesteal, but I would say Mask of Madness is kind of weird. Like the attack speed is super nice, right? Lifesteal is negligible because you don't really give a fuck about lifesteal. Like I see lifesteal as a very expensive style. Damage and attack speed is nice. Like it's just a feel good item, right? It is kind of expensive, but for the price, the attack speed it gives you is really nice. Now there are certain situations where you don't want to buy this item. One is against PA. Any kind of armor reduction items. So like let's say the PA has a Deso. If you fucking go on a wave and you press Mask of Madness, you will literally die in 1 second after she blinks on you. So, or like a Ursa, okay? Any hero that buys a blink, Legion Commander, Ursa, Bat Riders, any hero that blinks on you and fucking kills you, you literally have the time walk within like 0.1 second or you will die. And if you Mask of Madness on top of a creep wave, you will die 100% of the time. I've seen the most common way for a Faceless Void to die is just to be on a wave and just fucking go like this. Start farming the wave with the fucking Mask of Madness. And then there's a random Legion Commander that blinks in and kills you. So this is good if they don't have any jumps on you. Or you just can't use it on the wave. Personally, I get it 50-50 of the time. If you're going Battle Fury, you don't need it anymore. Because Battle Fury gives you the health regen that you need and a mana regen. Now, Battle Fury is pretty nice because it does work with the Aghanim Scepter. So if there's a fuck ton of enemies here, right? And then you can proc the Cleave. It procs on everybody. See that? All of the Battle Fury procs with each other. You see how the Cleaves procs with each other? Yeah, that's pretty cool, right? Yeah. That's pretty cool, but I would say because like Maelstrom is just superior in almost any way or shape or form, you're pretty much gonna go Mask of Madness, Maelstrom as your default item. Sometimes against like a Slark or some heroes, I like to go Diffusal Blade. It's actually a very legit item though. Faceless Void, especially if you go Manta, right? If they have like an Orchid Quap or something, you might have to go Manta because or else you have no way to dispel it. Now, if you don't need Manta, then you just don't go Manta. So like the Manta Diffusal Blade is like the weird build, right? So it's like Diffusal Blade's like, oh, I'm trying to like end the game early. I'm not trying to farm. I'm trying to fight. Because the tempo is either really fast or you got like an alchemist on the enemy team. And then you go Manta because it's just a good item to have. It allows you to survive and you can just Manta and time walk away, right? They can't silence you, which is something that counters Faceless Void a lot. Just like anti-mage. Now, if you want to go for the ultra farm build, you don't go Manta, you go Maelstrom. You don't go Diffusal Blade. You go Maelstrom and you upgrade it into Milnir. This is pretty much your damage issue solved. I find myself no longer giving a fuck about damage after I have this. You can pretty much kill most heroes. And you just buy BKB. You go like Maelstrom, BKB, bro. Mask of Madness, Maelstrom, BKB. Straight BKB. The BKB is weird. I think that you should get the Shard before the BKB. And you might even want to get the Aghanims or the Maelstrom before BKB. Because BKB on Faceless Void is really weird. You don't necessarily want a Chrono on BKB. But you don't necessarily want to BKB not BKB and go for the Chrono, because you can get stunned in your Chrono and it doesn't feel good at all. It's weird. You guys have to find a balance for this. And you can always go SNY, you can go whatever, but this is pretty much what you're going to be doing. And then after that, depends on the situation. I probably would just go Refresher Orb. And because you're Faceless Void, the good thing about Faceless Void is that you don't need boots, which is very cool. Like, you actually just don't need boots in the late game because you have time walk. And this shit's like 4.25 second cooldown. You basically have no cooldown. You can go Scotty, Satanic, MKP. You can even go Sobred for the initiation and shit like that. So literally you can just get something like this. This is like insanely good. Put this on, go in this, and then you'd be like, aha! And then you just kill everybody. So that's basically Faceless Void. What does Faceless Void counter? Every hero that tries to get away from you and that doesn't like AoE Chronos. Slark, Bounty Hunters, Alchemists potentially, squishy Intel heroes, basically any Intel hero like Invoker, Zeus, Necro even, Enigma even, Shadow Fiend kinda doesn't like it. What heroes are really good against Faceless Void? Now, heroes with natural disables and stuns that can kill you. Heroes that do high DPS that blink on you like PA Ursa. Or heroes that are super fucking tanky. Or heroes that are hard to catch like Anti-Mage. It's a little bit difficult, but I wouldn't say it's that bad. DK, Temper Saw, Alchemist, but like Alchemist is also kind of like Bristleback. Well, but like Bristleback, you have the counter with the time dilation, but you get the point. Like Underlord, and obviously the best hero against Faceless Void is Wraith Game because you chrono him, he dies, he respawns, and then he's like fuck you with your ult. But yeah, that's it for Faceless Void guide. Hope you guys enjoyed.